What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another Tottenham update for you guys. If you are new around here, go and check out our brand new website, WeAreTottenhamTV.co.uk, where you get your brand new Tottenham blog posts. So we not only do video content, but written content as well. But I'm here with my brother, Brian Daigle. How we doing, bro?
I'm all good, brother. I'm all good. How are you, sir?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. There's a few things to get through today. Not the longest update, but the first we're going to talk about some potential transfer news, and it's that name, Lloyd, not Lorraine, Lloyd Kelly. Once again, Rob Guesty says Tottenham are ready to renew their interest in Bournemouth's Lloyd Kelly in January, and Spurs could sign him for a much cheaper transfer fee due to his contract status. And obviously his contract does run out at the end of the season. Spurs tried to get him in the last few days of the transfer window, and I mean, he's been playing bits and pieces for Bournemouth this season, and from what I've seen, I think he would be kind of adequate backup. And look, let's be honest, anything's better than Eric Dyer having him as backup at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, listen, when we were going from at the end of the transfer window, as normal, I was doing my going absolute nuts because I didn't think he was the quality of what we needed. But right now, I think what we've seen from this start of the season is the lion's share of our transfers have hit the ground running. And right now, like you said, it's backup, isn't it? Listen, Any defender we sign isn't dislodging Van der Ven and Romero. So it is a case of backup. And as you said, would I prefer him over Eric Dyer? Yes, I would. And not just because we think Eric Dyer's done. But obviously, Ange and the team have identified him, and it's something that Ange thinks he could bring to the squad. So where I was totally against it in the summer, I think if the club is still seriously pursuing this, Ange has had something to do with this. Maybe Fabio, who knows? So with what the club did this summer and what Ange got out of them, if this is where we go, then this is where we go.
Yeah, he has missed the last couple of games through injury this season for Bournemouth. He's played 4 games in the Premier League out of the 8. And he's played the likes of the game against Brighton, Chelsea, half against Swansea in the Cup. He played against us, and they played against Liverpool. So he's actually played in all the games against the big teams for Bournemouth. So that maybe tells you how highly Bournemouth hold him in regard, albeit maybe they are trying to get some money through the door because he's refusing to sign a contract, and his contract does end at the end of the season. I think he does have the attributes that do suit an Ange Postecoglou team. I think he's good on the ball. He's athletic. He's fast. So like you say, I would agree. I think I'd welcome this signing, and maybe he is someone that can come in and provide adequate cover for if we do get injuries at the back.
Yeah, I think what we've got to look at as well, the way we are, the transfers that have been coming in, they're coming in very specific areas where we've needed help. And it's certain attributes we have needed from what we were lacking. And Lloyd Kelly has certainly shown something to the powers that be at Spurs that he will slot into Ange Postecoglou's system. I mean, also, you've got to remember how many players that we could potentially be going for will say, yeah, do you know what, I'll come, I'm going to play second fiddle to the main two, who we know right now no one is breaching that unless it's injury or suspension. So we've got to bring that into the equation. Who will come in and is prepared to play a bit part and be cover, and that limits the field greatly, doesn't it? So if he's prepared to do it and he's meeting the Spurs transfer needs, then go ahead with it.
But would you be comfortable, because you say a bit part, but that becomes a very key part if we do get an injury to either Coutinho Romero or Mickey Van der Ven. Are you comfortable with someone like him coming in and playing a key role if we do get an injury?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, obviously, I haven't monitored him regularly enough to say, oh, yeah, he'll do a fantastic job. But like I said, if you look at our players that are currently there that aren't getting minutes, at least this guy's getting Premier League minutes. At least this guy, like I said, Ange has obviously seen something in him. Because I do believe Ange is having a bit more say in transfers than what we thought was going on, or what I thought was going on previously. So right now, and everything Ange is doing, who are we to criticise? And as I said, the main thing for me as well, Ben, I've said it many a time, is I don't care about the value that we spend this January. I don't care where the player is playing. I don't care what league the player is from. If Ange Postecoglou says he wants them, get them in quick. So we've got them from January. Should something happen, we're not waiting around till the 31st. So yeah, I'd be happy if that's what Ange wants. Who are we right now to question anything that man's doing?
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. But let me just throw a curveball in there for you. What would you say? Because you're looking at the likes of Tosin Adarabioyo, who you were a massive fan of bringing in the summer.
Yeah,
he's also in the same boat. Contract running out at the end of the season. Not really getting too much of a look in at Fulham at the moment because I think he's just not signing on the dotted line and they're preferring to put their trust in other players. Would you prefer to see him come through the door instead of Lloyd Kelly?
Personally, I would. If it was me in charge and I had the opportunity, I would go Tosin Adarabioyo. I really do rate this guy, and some of his strength, his range of passing, I really do rate him. Now, if it was down to me, 100% I'll go for Tottenham Hotspur. Obviously, it's not down to me. So, whereas before, where I might have come out and said, "Oh, Mourinho's got this," or said, "I really blah blah blah," and criticised, and not obviously the manager knows best. If Ange Postecoglou says, "Right, I could have both," Kelly is who I want. I want Lloyd Kelly, but personally, I would have Tosin.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to look at it because. You know, you trust people on the work that they have done, and the work that they have done since they've come in. You know, for us as a fan base, we can't do anything but trust the work that they've done because it's absolutely, you know, it's gone above and beyond from what anyone could ever expected so far this season. So I completely agree. That's the best way to look at things. But let's talk about these quotes from Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg. Pierre insists that he'll keep working hard and be ready when called upon for Tottenham Hotspur, and he admits that he hasn't spoken to Ange Postecoglou regarding the lack of game time. And the quote is, "I don't have that dialogue, to be honest. My approach is to keep the focus on the things that I can do something about. I have to be ready to help the team if I am called. So I make sure to train well and keep my nose straight in track. We are playing a new kind of football than we did last season, and we have got a new coaching team. Things are working really well. We are in a very good position in the league, even though it is only a short time into the season, and we are making really good progress. So it's all about keeping it up. I haven't played as much as I've been used to, but it's something that you make with you, and you have to accept it and learn from it." So judging from those quotes, I mean, it's just very professional that we kind of expect from someone like Pierre, isn't it?
Well, we were talking about this yesterday when we were doing the update, and we were saying that this man is not getting half the respect this man deserves. Now, we look at certain people, Eric Dyer that went to Mr. Daniel Levy, or Daniel Levy went to him whatever way. "I'm not getting enough game time. Oh, they pick it." Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg, listen, we were saying that maybe he wants out because he's not. This is the most professional, respectful, and incredible. This is what you want to hear. Okay, things aren't going my way. I'm not playing as much as I want, but this is the reasons. And all I can do is focus on what I can do to. That's what you want to hear from a professional footballer. Not toys out the pram. Not, "Oh, I'm not getting enough game time." You never hear a bad word from him, whether things are good or bad for him.
Or about him.
Exactly. And yes, he's Marmite with people. Yes, I am a fan of him. Yes, if we can get an upgrade on him. But that's what the way I want my football club to have the best players in the best positions. But you cannot knock this guy's dedication, commitment, and passion for himself and the football club that he's employed by. And I applaud you, Pierre, once again, off the pitch, which is one of the reasons I love him as much as I do. The way he conducts himself, it's just a shining light of how a professional footballer should be, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so true, because like it would be so easy for someone in his shoes, you know, part of the leadership team, played week in, week out, never mind. You know, how many games did he play in a row for Tottenham Hotspur? You know, he was like literally such a key figure in the team. And to go from that to what he is this season, he hasn't started a game this season apart from the cup game. And not part of the leadership group anymore. So it'd be very easy for someone like that just to throw their toys out the pram and demand the transfer and basically do all the horrible things that you've seen footballers do. But no, he's working his hardest to try get back in their team, and the mentality of the man, it's just so professional, and it's things that you want in your squad. So on the back of these quotes and on the back of how professional we know he's being, that's kind of making me think we need someone to keep him and to keep a guy like that around.
Yeah, but not even that bad. Well, let's add another thing to that. This is an established international player. So I think it's at close to 100 caps or getting closer to 100 by the minute. When they're established internationals and it's a major tournament coming up at the end of the season, this is where they're like, right, I need first team football. I need to make sure I'm in that international squad to represent my country at these major tournaments. Not even, you hear some players say that, they go, I need minutes if I want to represent. No, it's like, this is what I need to do. This is where we are. And the fact that he's openly come out and said, listen, I haven't spoken to Ange about it. There's no need to right now. And we may have felt differently when we heard the stories that he sacked his agent because of what happened in the summer with the move away, and especially when it looks so sure that we wanted him out the door and he was available. Let's try and push him out. You'd think again he'd be like, right, that's it. They wanted me out. Now I'm gonna. Again, he just gets. He's like, right, I'll show you. This is what I will do. This is what I'll bring. Brilliant. From Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg. Well, he is a role model. He honestly is in how to conduct yourself.
Yeah, very true. And, you know, we've seen so many players in the past, like when this has happened to, you hire the new agent and you just throw your toys out the pram and you make it kind of untenable for yourself to stay at that club, where he's hired his new agent and he's just going about things in just the most perfect way for someone in his situation. So big up to Pierre and big up to his professionalism. But let's move on to the last topic of the update. And this is regarding a chap called Frederick Leth, which is a very interesting one. The reports coming out from Denmark saying Aston Villa's head of football research, Frederick Leth, could follow Johan Lange to Tottenham Hotspur. The pair have worked together for several years with a relationship that goes back to Lange's time at Copenhagen, where Leth had a role in the scouting department. And if you guys missed the update a few weeks ago, that Lange is Tottenham's new technical director. Fabio Paratici is staying in a consultancy role. But what else we brought you in that update is that Spurs are still looking for a chief scout to work under Lange. So this one makes complete sense, to be honest. And during his hugely successful time at Copenhagen, Lange worked alongside Frederick Leth, who worked in a head of technical scouting and analytics role for the final 2 years of Lange's tenure as the Danish champions. Technical director, Leth took over from Lange as Copenhagen's technical director, but resigned after 3 months to follow Johan Lange to Aston Villa. So these two guys work very close together at every club that they've been at, in Copenhagen, at Aston Villa. So I think it only makes sense, and I think it will be a very good move to bring him over to Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, well, like I said, and when you mentioned this, we're going to discuss him in the back end. I hadn't had a clue who he is. But one of the things I love, and I think this is brilliant for Spurs, is you look at it, apart from Conte and Paratici, and Poch and Paul Mitchell, which were hand in glove, both work simultaneously, understand each other, do work well together. Every other director of football, Baldini with AVB, these haven't been people that work together. Hitchin and whoever, there's not been a cohesion or we get on, we understand each other. Forget the identifying work. We actually have a relationship and work very, very well together. And the more partnerships we can have like that, the better for Tottenham Hotspur. And to bring in Scott Munn, I mean, we were all going mad when Scott Munn sacked Gabanini. It was like, what are you doing? Oh, my God. Well, it looks like he's brought in Lange, and Lange has been allowed to bring in his staff, and he's gone straight away for his right-hand man. And these partnerships, where people worked well together and harmonised well, can only have a positive outcome, can't it? It really, I can't see, rather than just plucking someone from obscurity and go, right, do you want to work with him? Yeah, go do it. This is a great move for the club.
Obviously, Scott Munn only officially started work not long ago. He's brought in Lange. Lange is going to bring in Leth. Where do you think this leaves Fabio Paratici? Because we're hearing that he's going to stay on in the consultancy role. Do you feel like after all the good work that Paratici has done, and obviously the court case and everything like that surrounding it, which means he's only in a consultancy role, do you feel like he's kind of the odd one out now?
It's a good shout. It's a good shout, but when you're the odd one out in the room, it's kind of like, yeah, but you've got nothing to show for it. What have you done? Paratici has done a lot, and let's face it, when he walks into a room, people listen. That name Paratici holds huge weight in world football, and I can't remember if I told you when I went with Stell to the training grounds, and we started talking to Simon Davies, the new youth head, like kind of Paratici's job in the youth team. He was talking to us how he's worked with Company at Man City and other people and the Mancini and whatever. And he went to Anderlecht with Company, but came home because of COVID, because he was travelling to and from Belgium. So he parted ways. He was going to go to Burnley with Company. Then he said he got a phone call from one Paratici, who he'd never worked with, and he dropped everything because Paratici had called him. And he gave up knowing what Company does, working well, to come and work under the tutelage. So that's how big this name is. Like, obviously we hear it and he's done whatever. He's still a huge name. So I don't know what happens after the court case. This is what we've got to look at. When he passes, let's say the court case is quashed and he's innocent, he can go on doing his normal role. Does he look for another job where he gets full power? Or is he going to come back to Spurs in some capacity and work alongside them? So I don't know if you can say he's like the third wheel. I'm sure that they're all having meetings together, aren't they? They must be.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope Paratici can kind of work in this way with kind of a brand new setup where I'm not sure if he's had his hand in setting it up or not, but it seems as though it's all changed since Scott Munn has come in. So it's hard to kind of assume that Paratici has kind of led this. So it kind of makes me feel like if these guys have one way of thinking and Paratici has another way of thinking, like which way is it going to go? It'll probably go of the way of Scott Munn and his team because they're the ones on the ground working day by day. But I guess if it is only in a consultancy role and he's there with his great contacts in the game to help deals get done or something like that, I guess it could work.
Well, yeah, the only other way to look at it as well is when Conte goes back to work full time, when that eventually happens, wherever that may be, if Paratici is available, does he go looking for Paratici? And then off they go. But I think we've got to use Paratici as much as we can whilst we still have him in this consultancy basis. But I'm loving the connection now with Lange and his right hand man. Scott Munn's got his man. Leth has got his man. And it looks like there is a perfect symmetry and things are getting done right. At long last, things are getting done right. Let's just hope it continues.
Do you feel like with all these appointments now, that kind of is putting Daniel Levy a few more steps down in terms of his decision making, in terms of which players come in and that kind of stuff?
Please God. Listen, if whatever it does to take him as far away from transfers as possible and just sign the goddamn check. Leave everything alone. You sign the check. That's it. Because like I've said before, off the pitch, he's incredible. He's incredible. And I'll say it, it's me. He's incredible. On the pitch, no. And if that's where this is going, then phenomenal. Phenomenal for the football club. And I'm fully on board it.
Would you get on board with the way the board works if Daniel Levy has no say in the football matters and just stays to the business side?
As I've said all along, you're putting me on the spot here. I love you, Ben. Thank you. Listen, I've said it would need to. The thing with it is consistency. I need to see it consistently happening, not just for one window, because we can all have one good window and then we did a good. If this consistently happens over a number of seasons, then yes, 100%. But that has to happen. I need to see consistency before I go. Maybe it's time to maybe not be as outspoken as I am, but that is going to take time.
And I just wanted to touch on these Conte comments. You reminded me of them when you mentioned Conte before. He came out and he was saying that he's not ready to come back to work yet, but when he does, it's going to be for a team that has just won. A lot of Spurs fans on social media were taking that as maybe like as a backhanded jibe at Tottenham Hotspur. Is that the way you took it?
A little, but I have to say, I mean, obviously social media when this happens goes ablaze, but I don't know if you saw it or the people watching this saw it. There was a great response on Twitter where someone put the picture of Conte having his Southampton meltdown when he said, you have 20 years, blah, blah, blah. Nothing changes with these people. And then you just have Postecoglou come up going, "G'day, mate. G'day, mate. How you doing, mate?" And it's just loads of Postecoglou's coming up going, "G'day, mate. G'day, mate." And that's where it is. Listen, Conte's bitter, and I still stand by everything he said being correct. I really do. But we have got Super Ange Postecoglou. Conte, as they used to say, yesterday's news is tomorrow's fish and chip paper. Yeah. And he's fish and chip paper right now.
Yeah, very true. But look, that is all we have for you for the Tottenham update for today. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding all the news stories we brought to you today. Everyone, do go and hit that subscribe button, not just here on We Are Tottenham TV, but over there on Tottenham on, well, over there actually on Tottenham on Tour as well. Go and visit our website, wattv.co.uk, and we'll see you very soon. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.
Come on you Spurs.